Now then, they received a standing ovation and left the judges speechless and in tears on Britain's Got Talent on Sunday night. Let's just remind ourselves of the moment the nation fell in love with the very talented Denise and Stefan.
We always say this, you know, without people like you, this show is nothing.
That vocal was goodness. It was beautiful.
Bruno, yes or no?
Yes. Huge yes for me. 100% yes for
A
me.
million yeses. Congratulations.
And Denise and Stefan join us now to tell us all about the incredible reaction that they've had to that amazing audition. Morning, you guys.
Good morning.
I sat watching it with my two boys yesterday. I was in floods of tears. The two of them were like, Mum, what's the matter? Are they happy tears? I'm like, I can't talk. I'm so excited. And then I text Declan and I said, oh, my goodness, I'm now in a puddle watching these two. It was such an amazing performance. And he was like, yeah, they're great, aren't they?
Aww.
It must have felt amazing to get that reaction from people.
It did. And all those people in that theatre, it makes a lot more noise indoors than it does outdoors, you know, that number of people.
Yeah.
But it was just, it's a lovely way to throw ourselves back into work because, you know, because we couldn't do a lot of work. Obviously, you know, during 2020, 21, nobody had any work. And then whilst everybody else was rebuilding their diaries, I was having chemo and radiotherapy and surgery. So there was just very, very little work.
Yeah.
So there was, and I literally didn't want to sing during COVID because we feed off an audience, and because there were no audiences, one day I got up and I thought, I don't want to sing anymore.
Goodness me.
And then last autumn, you know, then I had whooping cough, and I thought, is it ever going to get better? I thought only kids got a whooping cough, but apparently not.
No. Well, we'll come on to your diagnosis in just a moment. But Stefan, it's interesting that because that's quite a way to throw yourself back into performing, isn't it? To go from 0 to 100 miles an hour on Britain's Got Talent.
4,000 people.
It is, and it's been such fun. I mean, you hear all these scare stories about how reality TV could be, but we've had nothing but a lovely experience with them. The song choice that we made was wonderful, and I did a crash course in audio production to make the backing track that we used for the orchestral sounds as well.
Could you hear it, though? Because the crowd were making so much noise.
Well, yeah, because...
That's funny you should say
well,
that.
yeah, because in you know, in the kind of the very mannered sort of classical tradition, you know, people don't react until the music's finished.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 4 movements, woe betide you if you cough between the first and second movement or applaud or whatever. But no, what we weren't expecting and what we probably should have expected was the sort of spontaneous outbursting of emotion after the first line of the song. And of course, I'm desperately trying to listen to this backing track. Please land in the same place as everyone else.
It's like an extreme party game. We're are we going to land in the right place? And I wasn't convinced until the brass lick at the end, and it went wah, 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 and it's so crude. I thought, thank God, Stefan is so vulgar. But I just got the wah, 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 wah.
But it was a real family affair as well, because you've got Dimitri in the wings with you guys, and then you got your other 2 sons out in the audience as well.
Yeah, and Rebecca, who couldn't be there because she couldn't get the day off work because it was midweek, but she was there, you know, all day. She was on the family WhatsApp. Are you all right? What's happening? Tell me what's happening. And the boys were so supportive, and that's lovely because Michael, the older one of the boys, is a marathon runner, and you know, I go and support him all over the place, all over Europe when he's running, and it was just nice for the shoe to be on the other foot. Actually,
And they were I don't think you realised, did you? Because they were properly getting into it.
Oh, I saw it last night, but it was the first time I'd realised what they'd been like, and Mike just goes, "Go, Mom!"
Well, they text us a couple of days after going, I'm not sure we can watch it when it goes out because I think we made a bit of an idiot of ourselves. But that absolute outpouring of emotion was
raw
so...
emotion.
Yeah, it was so heartwarming.
So real.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? You'd have had to have been made of stone not to have felt something in there.
Yes.
Because the audience were so warm.
Yeah.
And we'd been waiting to go on. We were actually the last act to go on of that sitting. And so we'd been waiting for ages. And, you know, we'd occupied ourselves and then we'd come out, we'd gone on stage. It's the way with most singers and most musicians, you know, 90% of it is sitting around and waiting to go on.
Yeah.
I do a summer series of concerts at stately homes called the Battle Proms, and literally most of that is sitting backstage just playing daft games.
But you
in the
know
marquee.
what? From the moment you guys walked on the stage, you had the audience eating out of the palm of your hand. I mean, I know they thought you were a comedy act, first of all, because you had got some great gags.
We hadn't planned to.
No,
I've got one less now that Dimmy's told everyone that I'd trot that one out all the time.
He really did, didn't he?
Yeah.
But how did you two meet as well? Because that's a lovely story too.
It was kind of serendipitous.
Yeah.
I was hosting an awards ceremony at the BAFTA buildings in the evening, and I'd come down to London and I was going to have some lunch. And I was on a train, this bloke, young lad, leaned over, because there's quite an age gap. We are an age gap relationship. And he leaned over. I mean, it's a dirty job.
But you do it so well.
You do it so well. And he leaned forward and he said, "Do you know what time it is?" And I'd got a tactile watch on, which makes a very distinctive
Because you
noise when
click the face up so you can get your nail under a book and
I
you
see.
get a
And I read
braille
the
watch
time,
face.
told him the time. He
Yeah.
says, "Oh, I had one of those." And I thought, "Oh, that's the worst chat-up line I've ever heard." And I just went, "Oh, really?" And not interested, till he stood up to get off the train and he flicked his cane out. And I thought, "You nasty woman." He is blind. He's not hit, you know. But apparently he was.
Yeah, clearly he
love
was.
it. Clearly.
But, and then you ended up working together that night.
Yeah, we did.
And that was complete coincidence that you were sitting next to each other on the train.
Yeah, exactly.
it
I
was.
walked in, I thought, "Oh, God, it's that man from the train that was rude too."
Well, just to further add to her embarrassment, she didn't know the pianist was blind, so she dragged two massive operatic scores across London, thinking I'd have to sight read this music on the evening. But of course, you know, they were surface
So I
to
just
requirements.
bunged them on the piano and said, "You won't be needing these then." And I told him, I think it was quite a while later, that I was the woman off the train who'd rebuffed him, because I just thought he was a creep.
And I know you can't tell us too much about it, but semi-finals?
Bigger and better.
Just
and-
if we were lucky enough to be in the semi-finals, we'd be bigger and better and more prepared, I think.
Slightly less nervous.
Yeah, because I was terrified.
Yeah.
And I was only, you know, sort of a month out of antibiotics for whooping cough. So I'm 6 months down the road, hopefully. Well, no, I'll be 4 months down the road, won't I? So I'm much better now.
Good.
Well, also, I've not got afraid of going on stage since I was 15, and I was bricking it.
Wow.
And I painted the backstage area blue when I was walking on with Ant. And when we came off, he says, "You're not going to swear at me again, are you?"
You've got to watch your language.
He made Bruno cry. They made Simon say a million yeses. I mean, you did a
We
great
were thrilled
job.
to bits for you.
Yeah, we
Can't
were.
wait to see what
Thank
happens
you.
Such a lot of
next.
fun.
And we
Can't
brought
wait.
the cute dog on.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
she dragged Dimmy on. That was so funny, because he was like, "I'm not coming on."
Oh, really?
And then the dog just made a beeline for me, and
Funny,
he had
he's
to
got
come on.
his first day of SATs today.
Yeah.
And he bounced in because he's like, "Oh yeah, I want to talk to all my friends about this audition that's been
He's
on
going to
telly
be a
last night."
celebrity. and
That's the
He will.
exciting
He
thing,
will.
isn't it? That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
exciting thing.
celeb.
Listen, good luck.
Thank
For
you.
the next- You were absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we loved it.
Incredible. We
inviting us.
loved it. Thank
It's just
you.
been the top hat on a perfect 24 hours. Thank
Now
you.
we're going back to bed at home. We're going to have a sleep.
Catch up with some sleep.
Tell me.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you both.
You
and the
too.
dog as well, who's just been so well behaved.
So good.
Yes.
So
It's just
good.
like a hearthrug.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
exactly.